What's up, friends and antagonists, both minor and major? So welcome to the March Games Forecast. It is not the beginning of March, but it's close enough to it that I figured we'd still put one of these out. Been looking forward to trying this format for a little bit, so please do let me know what you think of the format, of the games that I've chosen. If you have other suggestions, we'll get to that after the video. Let's kick things off with Ori, coming out on March 11th on all major platforms, at least as far as I'm aware. This is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. Very, very well regarded Metroidvania-styled action platformer. Absolutely gorgeous art style, obviously. Phenomenal movement. I don't know if we're going to want to play a lot of the trailers during this, but we'll try to zip through to show you, see if we can get some gameplay snippets here while I'm talking about it. My goal for this series is to do, at least once monthly, a look at all the major games that are coming out. These are going to be just major releases in terms of things that I'm interested in, that I think you all might be interested in. If you have suggestions, please let me know. But Ori, as you can see here, really cool movement, lots of interesting combat options, gorgeous gameplay. It's phenomenal if you like anything like Hollow Knight, Metroid, Castlevania, obviously. This will probably be up your alley if you like platformers in general. It'll probably be up your alley. It's great. It's very hard to find negative opinions about Ori in the Blind Forest. Not much not like about it. I'd say go for it. Again, if you like anything along those lines, this may of course be of interest to you. Not much else to say, I think, other than it looks gorgeous. If you think you'll like it, you're probably going to like it. Let's move on to Nioh II. March 13th, PS4 exclusive. I believe this is a timed exclusive like it was for PC, but we'll find out. I have not played the demo yet. I cannot speak to it other than to suggest that it probably looks like it is going to be more of Nioh, which, given that I enjoyed Nioh, I'm here for this. To sum up in case you haven't played Nioh, very aggressively a Souls-like in its main format. You drop your items on the ground when you die, or your souls, your currency on the ground when you die. Combat has a flow to it that is very aggressively based on locked-on targeting, spaced between attacks, parries, blocks, and especially dodge rolls and dashes. It's very fast, much more on the Bloodborne side of speed, but with an absurd number of mechanics and item management more akin to an ARPG than a proper Souls-like. So it's a very different type of game. The Koei Tecmo influence is very heavy here in terms of the aggressive amount of item management you have to do. It's a game with armor stats and randomized gear, like an ARPG. So we got a lot of elements there that make the game very engaging, if you like the kind of management style number game versus the more pure focus on combat in Dark Souls. Combat's very complicated. We have a multi-stance based system here. Lots of items, spells. It's a very complex series of systems. I think often a little bit too overloaded, but if you like digging into really deep systems, if you like the setting and the vibe, which is, very Japanese yokai influenced, this will be something that you'll probably enjoy. And I had a lot of fun with Nioh. Again, not for everybody. Even if you like Souls games, it's very aggressive on the system. I want to keep that in mind. But incredible fights. Absolutely lovely combat once you get through the flow of it, and a lot of really gorgeous environments. So, love Nioh. Nioh 2 March 13th, coming up. Stay tuned. I'm planning to play this myself. Again, these are all games that I'm considering playing myself on the stream or on YouTube or whatever, so stay tuned for me picking these up, but of course I'm bringing these to you as well for things that anybody... These are things that are in my orbit of things that I've covered in the past, or things that you might be interested in. So, there's Nioh 2. Of course, Path of Exile, Delirium, the new Path of Exile League coming out, also on March 13th, because life is hard during March. It's a Path of Exile expansion. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because if you know what's up, you know what's up. If you don't, Path of Exile is an RPG in the style of Diablo and the rest of the top-down RPG genre. Games like Grim Dawn, Titan Quest, Wolfson, whatever. You know the genre. It's Diablo. And has been developed from what was once a mere sort of shadow of Diablo 2, trying to bring the genre back in that direction after Diablo 3 sort of messed things up a little bit not messed things up, but sort of took direction away from fans who really enjoyed Diablo 2's direction, and then blew it up into what is now by far the dominant RPG in the genre. And the game is relentlessly complicated if you want it to be. You can engage the systems at a lot of different levels, which is part of the appeal of the game to me. The game is endlessly deep. It has an infamous skill tree system, as well as an unbelievably complex way to manage your skills in terms of the possibilities. But if you are engaging with it just as you see fit, you can get through the story, which is fully voice acted, and a great time. So the systems go as deep as you would like them to be. I have never found a game that has an end game that is this rich in content and possibilities, but Also, you can just sort of play it as a Diablo-like if you want to just go through one playthrough. Lovely stuff. New League has, of course, as always, new skills, updated skills, brand new narrative content in the form of new characters and some small plot points. And, of course, the League mechanic here, Delirium, which is looking to be a little bit like Breach 2. So, very excited for this. Of course, I'll be playing this a little bit on stream at least, and a lot in my spare time as well. And that'll be March 13th as well on PC, and I believe the console release will be following shortly after. Up next, March 20th. Big day. Big day. We all know it. We've seen the memes everywhere. You can't escape them. I can't wait for March 20th. On March 20th, we have both Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Switch and Doom Eternal, I believe, on all major platforms other than the Switch because it's a big graphics game. How are we going to decide what to play, everybody? Everybody's going to have a conundrum for most of the big video gamers out there. We've seen the memes. I just today was seeing people posting from local GameStops that have Isabelle cutouts holding copies of Doom Eternal pre-orders. That's very funny. I like that. But anyway, Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's Animal Crossing. This is a town management simulator, cozy talking to villagers simulator. There's a lot going on in Animal Crossing, but also not a lot. Okay, I'm trying to mute you, please. Also not a lot going on at the same time. Animal Crossing is, in a lot of respects, about paying off a mortgage by catching bugs, and in a lot of respects is a game about interior design. It's also a game about interacting with fictional animal villagers. It's a very hard thing to explain because whenever you put it into words, the game tends to sound extremely boring. The way I see it, after having tried to explain it to folks who picked up the genre of these farming management games through Stardew Valley, is Stardew Valley with an increased focus on expressiveness and design of your own spaces over the narrative focus of connecting with characters in Stardew. Whereas Stardew has a huge focus on dialogue and connecting with characters and the combat stuff. You take those away and replace it instead with a series that has enough detail put into its items that they made an entire game based on its home design mechanics. An entire spin-off game where you just design rooms. This game is hopefully up your alley. The amount of customization and expressiveness you can put into your island in this case, because you're in this, rather than moving to a new village, you are taking the Nook Inc. travel package and going to a deserted island and sort of reshaping it as you see fit. So your expressiveness extends not only to your house, but to items you can place all around the island, to building new construction projects, as in Animal Crossing New Leaf, where as the mayor you could construct projects, but they were very limited in scope. Here you can make not only bridges and connecting things to make your travel a lot easier, but you can also produce terraforming towards the end game, it looks like, and all sorts of other nonsense it lets you sort of really make the island your own. Nintendo is being Nintendo. Online is of course going to be very limited, but given that there is online in this case on a massive platform, the Switch, this is going to be hopefully a super exciting experience, especially because Animal Crossing the mobile experience has been a very hit or miss depending on how you feel about its mechanics. So very excited. The engine looks absolutely gorgeous. Lots of lovely new animations. Mechanics seem absolutely phenomenal, fully updated. There's finally crafting, substantially more options for engaging with your house and your yard and everything else, and a lot of just ways to just sort of do whatever you want. It's a game that is best played in short bursts over a long period of time. So playing a little bit a day during a commute or during some downtime, playing 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. Not a game that I find works really well if you're playing for hours and hours on end, because there's just not a lot to do a lot of the time in terms of doing it all at once. You sort of catch a couple bugs, you fish a little bit, you pick some weeds, you talk to the villagers, and you kind of sign off. Which is why the game has done so well on mobile, even more than consoles. And the 3DS version is, widely considered or the DS version. It's been a long time. Was it 3DS? The handheld versions have been widely considered the sort of definitive versions of the game for a long time now. But it's been a while. The Switch is a hybrid console, of course, is going to be the perfect place for this, as it is for a lot of Nintendo franchises, because you not only have the ability to take it on the go, play it during your commute, stuff like that, but you can also, of course, dock the Switch if you don't have a Switch Lite, Lite, and you can, of course, play on the big screen, relax, really kick back and chill. So, very lovely, very relaxing experience, and would highly recommend to anybody who likes management games, or just sort of having a good time with making house designs. On the same day, Tonal Whiplash, Doom Eternal. You know what Doom Eternal is. It's a first-person shooter. It's Okay. I didn't do this earlier. Oops. Here, we're gonna put in a date. Here, we're gonna do, I'm of age. It's the date I'm recording this. Okay. You don't get my birth date. I'm sorry. That's not a prize for today's video. Just stick around for that. So Doom Eternal is the sequel to the absolutely lovely Doom 2016, which blew out of the water even its own Wolfenstein, which was previously the sort of resurgence of the classic shooter in modern form, to the point where it's been hard to play shooters or release a shooter since because Doom was so damn good. Doom Eternal is looking to be Doom, but again, with some more stuff. And I had such a blast with Doom that I will take that for sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing. The narrative was surprisingly compelling, and Doom Guy had an incredible amount of expressiveness in his animations and his engagement with these, unethical scientists and the corporation that was running operations on Mars. And if the plot just faded from my memory, but it was good. Lots of new mechanics, new weaponry, new enemies. It's Doom, but more. I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to it. You know what you're getting here. You kill demons. It's Doom. Look forward to it. Doom 64. This is another, I just thought I'd bring this up. All major platforms, not to the Switch. Of course, the Switch is the most notable because people really want Switch ports. Same day, March 20th, it's a port of Doom 64 to major platforms. Cool. March 23rd. We're still not at the end of the month yet. It's going to be a long one, folks. I won't be playing this. I don't have a VR setup yet, but this is effectively Half-Life 3. As Valve has placed it, this is effectively Half-Life 3, which is smart to have a continued narrative in Half-Life that is experimental, because releasing a AAA, just a standard action shooter, puzzle, adventure thing would be too much pressure. This is now experimental. They're doing it, but it's in a way that kind of takes the pressure off because they're doing a lot of weird stuff. This could very well be the game that makes VR compelling enough to really take a look at again. The interactivity just from the trailers alone is unbelievable, and if it's half as good as what we're seeing here, we're in for a hell of a treat. So stay tuned for details on how it's going to be received. I'm going to be trying to follow the coverage, of course, as best I can, because it looks unbelievable. If it's to the point where, again, it's hard to believe. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping for the best, and hopefully there's going to be some sort of way to play it that doesn't require us to have a VR room. But if otherwise, I'll be looking forward to coverage myself, and then hopefully one day picking it up if I have VR set up. So stay tuned for details, of course, but this is looking very excited. March 23rd is, I believe, the final release date, so stay tuned for that. Yep, March 23rd. So stay tuned on details. If you like it, you know what Half-Life is. It's compelling. It's the new one. You know what to get here. I thought I'd shout this out. Here we go. This is a picture on Twitter. I couldn't find this on any official launching site for this. The first major expansion for Control was releasing on March 26th. The Foundation DLC. I don't quite know what the deal is because I wasn't looking forward to too many plot details. I didn't want to really dig in before it came out because I'm looking forward to playing it. So for those who didn't catch Control, it is a third-person action shooter / SCP simulator that came out at the end of last year and completely blew me out of the water to the point that I believe it ended up being my game of the year above Sekiro and Fire Emblem, despite my love for those other games. This game is absolutely phenomenal. One of the smoothest, best playing action games I've played in a very long time. What started off as, in the first hour, a standard third-person cover shooter quickly became one of the single smoothest action games I've ever played, as well as offering absolutely gorgeous art direction. Again, some of the best art direction I've seen in AAA in years. I mean, it just floored me with the incredible shifting architecture of the oldest house. And there's been, many an essay delivered on this. I don't want to take up too much time on this video. So I've gushed about Control on my Game of the Year video for many a minute. It's a lot thought about it. If you like stuff, if you like action games, if you like shooting games, if you like games where you can pick up pieces of the environment and throw them at people with your psychic powers, try Control. It's great. Really, really great. If you like dark sci-fi and things like Stalker SCPs where, you have these reality-bending objects as a core of the game, give it a look. They have phenomenal use of FMV, as well as extremely, extremely compelling motion capture performances. You know, one of the best acted games I've ever seen in my life. Super, super good. Controls great. DLC I'm looking forward to, and hopefully we'll see where it goes. That is March 26th. And before the month ends and we end up in the March Part 2, the delayed March, which we'll get to in the April video, which will be released before April because it'll be... The first couple weeks include Final Fantasy and Resident Evil, so we're in for another bit of a rush here. Let us not forget, we are ending the month with Persona 5 The Royal, which is a expanded re-release of Persona 5, which I didn't realize came out in 2016. I thought it came out like 2 years ago, like a year or two ago. It's been like 3+. So, surprised everybody, but time is moving really fast. Persona 5, we all know it. It's been in part of our gaming experience for these last few years. Absolute phenomenon of an RPG from what was once, I believe, a fairly niche franchise, Persona. I mean, I know it's well received, but it hasn't, at least in the US, reached these numbers until Persona 5 completely tore things open. So Persona 5 it's an RPG. It's a JRPG, turn-based. I'm trying to see if we can get some Persona 5 The Royal. There we go. The Royal features both a new protagonist. The second one, that's the red-haired girl in the top. I do not remember her name at this time, but because I haven't played or looked into it too deeply. But it is a super, super lavish RPG that involves a ton of focus on character interactions, very visual novel style, just long stretches of conversation and dialogue and ways to interact with the characters, build up your support levels with them, sort of get to know them, just help them with their emotional problems. Visual novel character, not really quite dating sim style stuff, but stuff in that vein, as well as a full-featured turn-based RPG with massive, massive dungeon crawling. So it is well known for being an unbelievably large game. We're talking triple digits of hours worth of playthrough if you're going through the whole thing. So buckle up. It being at the end of the month and bleeding into the FF7 remake is going to be a lot of gameplay time for those of you who enjoy RPGs. So stay tuned. Buckle up, get your wallets and your schedules cleared because it's going to be a long one. But of course, for me, I skipped out on playing Persona 5 last year because I was looking forward to this as the full definitive edition. This is sort of like the, everything included plus remaster plus additional content version. So much like a Monster Hunter, or at least how they used to release Monster Hunter Ultimate Editions, this is sort of the definitive version now. And this should be releasing on all major platforms simultaneously, unless I believe this might be PS4 first. It has occurred to me. I think this is PS4 first and then PC later. So I'll be playing on PS4 more than likely. So stay tuned for this. Looking forward to it a lot. And that's what I got, folks. That's what I got for you. Persona 5, March 31st, end of the month. And then, of course, FF7 and RE3 and others coming out in April. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm Essel. Thanks for hanging out today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you did, consider following or subscribing to YouTube, I guess. And at the very least, please let me know what you thought of the video and what I could do to improve for the next one. This is a brand new format for me. I wanted to keep it very casual for now to make sure we could get the video done in a reasonable length. Wasn't spending 40 minutes on this, and we just give you a quick little take to let you guys know what I'm interested in the next month, what I think you might be interested in, and where we can look at for upcoming releases, because it's a topic we talk about a lot, so I'll probably be linking this video in my Twitch chat and stuff like that. So come by the stream if you want to see me play half these games. I'll be doing so for the next few weeks, at least. Animal Crossing, Doom, Ori, Delirium. I'm going to probably play most of these, so come on by, hang out, and let me know what you think. If there's any videos I missed, please do let me know. I'll be happy to cover those in a future video, on Twitter, on the stream, whatever. Love to talk about games, so if I miss stuff, let me know. Otherwise, folks, until next time, enjoy yourselves, get some rest, and peace out.